Okay. Next topic is Cinco de Mayo. And where does that come from? So Mexico had their first full-blooded indigenous president in Mexico, Benito Juarez. And he's a person responsible for uh, creating the Cinco de Mayo celebration. And the incident that led to the creation of the Cinco de Mayo celebration is when, also in the middle of the 19th century, the country of France decided that they wanted to take over Mexico. France sent in their army in 1862, and they encountered the Mexican army at the Battle of Puebla on Cinco de Mayo, the 5th of May of 1862. The Mexican army was led by General Ignacio Zaragoza, and the Mexican army actually, how do I put this? The odds were against them, even though they were on their home turf. They only had 4,000 troops against the French 8,000 troops. So they were fighting an army twice their size. Yet they managed to win the battle. And so the very next day, Benito Juarez declares Cinco de Mayo a holiday because it was kind of miraculous that they defeated an army twice their size. Now, the Mexican army won that battle, but they did not end up winning the war. A year later, the French come back with 30,000 troops and win. And they put in charge of Mexico an emperor named Archduke Maximilian of Habsburg. And so Mexico had an emperor from 1864 to 1867 until Benito Juarez was able to retake control of the country in 1867 and executed Maximilian. Now, you might recall that in 1823, the US had given this Monroe Doctrine saying we weren't going to allow other countries from colonizing the Americas. And so this is just one of several instances where European countries still continued to colonize or try to take over parts of Latin America. Now, to be fair to the United States, in 1862, the United States was in the middle of its own civil war. And civil wars are the most destructive of wars. When the fighting is in your own land, it's more destructive. And B, when both sides of the war are on your own land, it's even more destructive. And so hence why we had more deaths in the US Civil War than in, I don't know, like most of the next wars in US history combined. Because both sides, were people from the US. Now, why did France do this? Why did it go to Mexico? One theory is that actually France came in 1962 with the goal of helping the Confederacy win the US Civil War and have a stronghold in Mexico. And so when Mexico defeated France in 1862, and they weren't able to come back till 1863, one theory is that the Cinco de Mayo battle not only helped Mexico, but helped the Union not have the support of France for most of the Civil War. By the time France got situated in Mexico, it was too late for them to make a difference in helping the Confederacy win the US Civil War.